we're so excited to start this new podcast season with some insights and some questions from our studio audience. And today we're going to begin with a few questions from our audience. Let us get started. All right, we've got a couple of questions. The first question is also, all of these are coming, they are anonymous, just by the way. Okay. Anonymous questions. People don't want to identify themselves. You know, all of us are in a business struggle, right? So, exactly. Some of this is difficult. But here's the first question.
Okay.
What motivation is needed to turn a hobby into a full business? I know we talked briefly about that, but what kind of motivation do you think is needed to turn a hobby into a business?
Well, just generally speaking, and a lot of this speaking that I'm going to say is like my motivation too. It's got to be inside of you. You know, it has to start. It's just like a plant. It has to start with a seed, a root, or something, and it has to be nurtured and grown into something bigger. A lot of times we have ideas that run through our heads, and we be like, "Oh, I should try this, or I should try that," and then sometimes we just leave it there. And then we like, but I can do this and I can actually turn this into a business and I can sell this or I can do this for a business or I can offer this service. But it starts from a seed, that seed got to come within you. And then sometimes your spouse can encourage you, the will to want to live a better life and be able to have more financial stability is one of the major motivations, especially for myself.
Say that.
Yeah. So everybody in this world is looking for, financial stability. And with the times that we're living in, it is very difficult. And that is like a motivation just by itself, like wanting to be able to pay your bills, or be in debt, but actually have the money to pay off your debt, and
right.
Just the will of wanting to accomplish is major, So it's a lot of things that can motivate you, but it always starts inside. I believe that it always starts from inside. It's a thought process. And once you think it out, and then you start to run around with ideas, whether you come up with your own ideas or you have other people give you ideas, and then it just starts to do what it's doing. And then all of a sudden you're nurturing it just like a plant, like a seed. You plant it, and then you start nurturing it. You give it the sun, which is God, and you believe in it, and then you start to see it sprout, and then it comes up, So motivation, it starts from within inside of you. And, especially for me and the things that I do, I've been motivated for different type of things. So, we said in our last season of podcast that I had a physical disability when I got hurt on a job.
Okay.
And the fact that I was used to using my hands and my physical body to be able to go and produce and do things and work to bring income into my home. And then when that was compromised, I had to find the motivation to figure it out in a different pattern. I had to have the motivation to say, now that I physically can't really do the work that I promote to do and I sell people on, but I have to have the mindset of a business owner, and I have to have the mindset of a person who's running a business. And my motivation came from, this is what I have to do so I can provide and have the financial stability, because my physical wasn't able to do it like I used to in the past.
I got you.
And
I
that was
got
like
you.
a motivation thing. And everybody has different ones. Some
Hmm.
people have the motivation of they're just tired of living the life that they're living.
Right.
They're tired of living check to check,
Mhm.
and sometimes we don't even make it check to check. I've been in those situations and they're not the best thing, and
Oh yeah.
nobody
Oh yeah.
wants that. You don't know where your
On
next
and
bill
over.
comes from. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a job, but the gas tank in the car don't look like you're gonna make it there on Thursday. You know what
Listen.
I'm saying? You know?
Listen. I know what it's like
Right.
to start over, man. And
Right.
you're right. The way we grind,
Mhm.
just as hard as we do for our jobs.
Right.
If you got that same drive, ain't nothing to stop you from
Yeah.
being successful. So thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for
Yeah.
sharing that.
Yeah.
Sharing that motivation comes from within. It's funny you were talking about seeds. We were talking about that today in my training. As
Uh-huh.
I mentioned to you,
Uh-huh.
I was attending a training today, and that's exactly what we do when we seed in our business. We
Hmm.
plant a seed, we water that
Right.
thing, and it's
Yeah.
supposed to bring forth a harvest. So thank you for
Yeah.
saying that. That
Yeah.
was amazing.
Exactly. Yeah. It starts
Yeah,
within you. The motivation comes within you. And it's that voice inside your head telling you, hey man, you got
you
this,
can
you can
do
do
it.
this. And
Yeah,
you gotta, you gotta listen to it.
yeah.
you know. And then sometimes you might talk back to it and be like, you crazy, or that ain't gonna
Yeah,
work.
like
But
what are you thinking?
yeah, what are you thinking? Why would you let me even do this? You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Oh man,
Yeah,
I
but
can count
it,
on two hands how
yeah,
often I've said that.
yeah, exactly. So, sometimes motivation comes from having a conversation with yourself, and that is so true. You say
Being
to
real with
yourself, you
yourself.
like,
Yeah.
come on, Andre, you got to do better than this. Like this, you know, and it doesn't always have to be motivation from a sad point in your life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The motivation doesn't have to come from you're in a bad situation. Motivation can all comes in all kinds of forms, and it can be when you're in a good situation. You know how I don't know about most people. I do a lot of remote work, and
Hmm.
so I'm in front of a laptop a lot. And then when I do go out in the field, I don't like it. And
Hmm.
the reason why I say I don't like it because I haven't done it in a while. But the
Hmm.
part that I realized that I don't like is the traffic. I don't like driving in traffic.
You ain't by yourself.
And
You ain't by
so I
yourself.
have to motivate myself before I get into that vehicle
Yeah.
and partake in this everyday traffic thing that people do. And it's
Yeah.
so strange because motivation can become a part of your life to where it's a ritual that
Yeah.
you're doing it. So mine
Hmm.
is a cup of coffee and old school gospel spirituals playing
That's
on my
good.
iPad.
Right.
With that too, with my coffee and my old school gospel music that I grew up on, that my mother used to play in the house all the time, and
Hmm.
then with through YouTube, and they got their little music, and they just have it all. And I just before I know it, I'm through the traffic. I'm where I need to be at.
That's
I don't
right.
got my spiritual blessing. I don't
Right.
have my worship and praise. And
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm motivated. And that's how motivation works.
Yeah.
Just like I said, it starts from within, and
Yeah.
it can be a pattern that you practice and that you do, and you don't even realize it. So there's motivation that can come from a bad situation, and there's also motivation that comes from good situations.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's like your hype man. It
Yeah.
pushes you. It's the hype man. What was that guy? Flavor Flav.
Oh yeah.
Everybody has a Flavor Flav inside them. You know what I mean? And
Right.
whatever you say, yeah, boy,
Yeah.
everybody has that Flavor Flav. So
Yeah. Yeah.
motivation is is a very good thing. And
Yeah.
you'll be surprised how often motivation comes into play in your life.
Yeah.
If you've been sitting on the couch all day long being lazy and you know that you got to get up and fix these kids something to eat, there's a motivation inside of you that says, boy, get up off this couch
Right.
and get up and fix these
If you
kids
don't
something
get
to
up
eat.
here and do this.
Exactly. It's and it
That's
goes,
good.
it circles always back to it starts from inside of you.
I agree. It
Now,
starts on the inside. Yeah.
as kids, now when we supposed to do something and we didn't do it, that
We had
motivation comes from
external
our parents.
motivation.
Exactly. And that's a little bit more of
Right.
staying type of
Right.
motivation when it comes to mommy or daddy, but
Yeah.
it's everywhere in your life. And, it's like one of those things that people think about and they talk about. And that was a very good question. Whoever sent that question in, that was a very good question because it does start with inside of you and it comes in all kind of form and fashion. Sometimes you can look at somebody else and see something in them and it can motivate you. One thing that
Absolutely.
I will say is when you make eye contact with a person, smile.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You don't know what kind of day they having or anything. And just a simple smile can motivate somebody to be like, you know what? That's pretty cool. And like I
Yeah.
said, there's
Yeah.
it can come from all walks of life, but it's there and it's all surrounding you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's right. That's
Mhm.
right. It signals that you got this.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I'm gonna switch gears just a little bit. This
Mhm.
question came in and it says, "What are some of the signs you might see that will signal you to halt on a business idea?" So you talked about the motivation to get started doing a business. You
Mhm.
talked about the motivation coming from within, either from a negative standpoint or from a positive standpoint. But what can be some signs? This is a great question you
Mhm.
might see that'll tell you, not right now. This business,
Right.
it ain't time to do it. Can
Yeah.
you give us some examples there?
It's I can sit here and take up the whole time on what will make you halt in
Mm-hmm.
business when it comes to that. Uh you have situations that come up. Sometimes running a business can become overwhelming. That's one of the main things. So if you started a business and you actually still work a 9 to 5, in which a
Yeah.
lot of people who start businesses do,
Mm-hmm.
that is very tough on a person alone. You,
Right.
you you got work and you got life balance. And
Right.
when that balance is off
Mm-hmm.
and work is more than life is,
Mm-hmm.
the body starts to wear down.
Yeah.
And when the body starts to wear down, that's when you have to halt it. You start to feel the physical aspects of overworking yourself, being overwhelmed, overstressed. All these things cause the body to just react to them and stuff. And like they say, I don't know if you heard this before, when they say God will sit you down real quick.
Oh yeah.
Is
Oh
that
yeah. I got my experiences too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, God will set you down quick and
Yeah.
let you know, take it easy, take a rest. And that's one of the things, just the physical aspect of your well-being can halt your business because you do, just like pastors, a lot of pastors take time off. They're
Yeah.
like, I've been leading the flock. I need me,
Yeah. Yeah.
and this is always good. At one point in my life, I used to go to the spa once a month,
Right.
because you
Yeah.
need that time. But being overwhelmed and overly stressed with everything can definitely make you want to halt your business. And
Mm-hmm.
another big thing, and one of the major things that make you halt business is
Right.
finances.
Yeah. Not having the money. Yeah. Yeah.
Finances plays a major role in your business. And if your finances are not in order, if you haven't been paying your taxes like you're supposed to, and you are in a little trouble with Uncle Sam and things like that. And, a lot of companies out here rebrand themselves all the time because of financial situations. They halt their business. This week we was Sanford and Son, and 2 years later, we're not Sanford and Son no more. We're just Sanford now,
My goodness.
And when you see name changes like that in business, it's been yeah,
Sometimes, but
it's been
not all the
halted.
time.
It's been halted because of financial things and financial situations with businesses are very crucial to your business because it can cripple you.
Yeah,
So if you are the type of business that invoices people, right? And those people are not paying that invoice, that can halt your business. That
Houston, we
can
have a problem.
lead to a whole bunch of things. I used to put on some of my invoices due upon receipt.
Yeah,
You
literally.
know, some people do the 30 days, and you got to understand that if you accept the job and you accept those terms that the person says that, yeah, we can get your check out within 30 days, then you have to be financially stable to continue to run your business while you're waiting on that money.
That's good.
Because if, everybody business solely relies on the income that comes into the business. The
Hmm.
moment that the income is not coming into the business has to stop.
Yeah, yeah, I
You can
agree.
go out and do what you need to do for the customers if you don't have the means to do it. So yeah.
Bar- so, are you familiar with Shark Tank? Do you watch that at
Yes,
all?
I
I
do.
love Shark Tank. I
Yeah.
get so much advice
Yeah.
from those sharks.
Hmm.
And Barbara, I forgot her last name, but Barbara once shared on Shark Tank that while she had a thriving business, something happened to eclipse her business.
Hmm.
And she literally said that she decided to take a job, a full-time job, to
Right.
underwrite the business until it got over that particular struggle.
Right.
So and everybody can't do that because there's pride. You got pride going on. You got folk going, I was
Yeah.
really successful at one time, but I think also just along those lines, you made some valid points. Your physical health. Nobody should ever continue running a business at the expense of their physical health. And we can
Exactly.
take and bring up all the studies and all this other stuff. And I used to be one of those people who was like, oh, I'll sleep when I'm dead, but you'll be dead in less than 30, years if you keep going that
Was
route.
your
So
turn. Yeah,
so
exactly.
real talk.
Yeah.
Rest is a very important part of
Big
developing a
part.
successful business. And
Yep.
to your
Big part.
point regarding rebranding, sometimes rebranding is necessary to give your business a fresh start. It may
Hmm.
not be that you are in dire straits financially necessarily as a
Right.
person who has rebranded
Right.
on a
Oh,
number of
yeah,
occasions.
because there's two types of rebranding. There's
Yeah,
rebranding, just like you said, to refresh your business, but then there's also rebranding because one business failed and now you're
right.
starting a new
And
chapter.
I didn't even think of that. That's why I was laughing about that. I
Yeah,
didn't like, I'm not laughing
exactly.
like laughing at them, but
Right,
as
yeah.
a business owner, I even
Mhm.
I'd experienced pivoting,
Right,
having to pivot my business
yeah.
just due to some of the things. But
Hmm.
this is good talk. This is some really good talk. And we have a couple more questions, but we're going to take a few more questions after the break. And
Okay.
we're going to hear a word from our sponsors.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right.
Well, folks, we are back. We thank you for taking the time to listen to our sponsors. We are excited about some of the up and coming events, and we hope to see you in community. All right, Mr. Richardson, my uncle of the Richardson family hustle. We've been talking to him about businesses and how we can be and embody the best of the best to be the best business owner we can be. So today, the
Mhm.
next question is, how can a person know if they will make a good business owner? And what may be some key characteristics, which you can answer those in separate?
Mhm. So the the question is what makes a person know if they're going to be a good business
Mm-hmm.
owner?
Mm-hmm.
You don't know.
Okay.
And that's just being real.
Okay.
You don't know until you do it.
Okay.
And the thing about owning a business is there's a learning platform with owning a business. So think about it. You've done the legwork to figure out what business you want. And
Mm-hmm.
after you've done the legwork of knowing what business you want, and then you've done all the paperwork and all the legal stuff to open the business. Now you got the business open, right? So now you're feeling good and you're on the right track. And now you're out there and you're doing business. That's when everything really is going to happen. So in your mind, you had it on a piece of paper. But everything that's written as a policy doesn't always stay that way, you know. So there's things of curves and boundaries and just flexing, being flexible with certain things and stuff like that. So you learning how to be a great business person.
You know
And-
what that makes me think about, when
Mhm.
you talk about that, are those TikTokers and those social media influencers. I don't think some of them, they didn't even know their business was that they were going to become a business and it take off.
Yeah.
So that makes me think of them. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, exactly. You don't know in the beginning. You have in your mind what you want the outcome to be,
Mm-hmm.
and that's in your mind, not everybody else's.
Yeah.
That's what you believe. But when you step out into the world and you in business, you learn things.
Yeah.
And if you the type of person who takes failure and you don't see it as failure, but you see it as a learning
Mm-hmm.
opportunity, then
Mm-hmm.
you learn to be better. Just like we was talking before the break, you were saying how the people from the Shark Tank and they tell you their stories of the struggles. Daniel was one who was saying his struggles as a business person, and he was running FUBU out of his mom's basement. And I don't know if you ever heard his story, and he was
Damon.
just
Yep.
like, it was crashing. He was not a good business person. And
Wow.
his mom actually stepped up to the plate
Mm.
and she did some different things and they worked together and then it blew up and now look at him now. You see what I'm
Wow.
saying?
Yeah.
So
Damon John.
it
Yep.
right, yeah. So sometimes it's you're learning. So there is no, well, this makes you a good one, this makes you a bad one. It's your business and how you run it and what you do when you learn from the mistakes that are made with your business and how you correct them and you move forward. In my type of business, if I went into somebody's home and I did the worst job ever, and then I just said to them, I don't care, you just still have to pay me. That's not good for me. That's not good
So
for my business. That tarnishes my name. I
yeah.
did not learn from it. What could I have done differently in that situation? And then I do it.
Yeah.
So, you know, characteristics in business is great leadership. When
Okay.
you lead a team of people,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta have great leadership skills.
Mm-hmm.
One thing is everybody think that they can manage people easily. Oh, I know how to tell somebody what to do. It is not just about telling people what to do. It's about learning people different attitudes, mood swings, and things like that that makes you a great leader.
Mm-hmm.
I've
Modeling.
always thought that leadership and how you talk and how you speak to people who work for you and how you treat your customers will always come back.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we said in the last season of podcast that I don't have a platform where I advertise my business I don't have commercials.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that I do is word of mouth. I've built this business on my reputation.
That's
And
awesome. Yeah.
and that's one of the characteristics that owning a business, you got to be the person that somebody wants to work with. You got
I
to think
like that.
about
Can we pause right there? What'd you say? We've got to be the
yeah,
type of person
yes,
that people want to work with. It's about
exactly,
connecting to
exactly.
community, to
Yeah.
meeting the needs and connect. That's really good,
Yeah,
man. That's
it
good.
is. It
Yeah.
you have to be. I've learned that, like, and this didn't happen in the beginning. This was years and years of it. And if you try to put all the information together and you start to look at it, people will spend money with somebody that they like.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
don't have to go in and you don't
So
have to
true.
be, what's that, like when people call you and they have this long drawn out thing that they say before they even ask you anything. I like to kill people with kindness. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes when I call different businesses and I get the hello, you just called such and such, how can I help you, please? And before I even go into what I need, first thing I say
Mm-hmm.
is, hello, how are you
How are
doing?
you?
And I get a pause.
Yeah.
I get a pause and they like, how can I help you? No.
Right.
Hello, how are you
How are
doing?
you? Yeah. Connect with them. Yeah.
Exactly. Connect
Yeah.
with me
Yeah.
because I'm a customer and
And I need
and
something
so
from you.
that's like being courtesy and having people like you is
Hmm.
very big for your business. And I've learned that. And so I practice that wherever I go. I took my car recently to get service. I pull up to the business and I'm sitting in the car. I see a sign out there in front of the garage door that says stop here. And I
Hmm.
stopped there. I sat there and I
Right.
sat there and I sat there.
Oh
And
no.
the garage door was broken.
Oh.
Nobody came outside to
Oh
tell
wow.
me that the garage door is broken, that I will have to walk inside to check my car in.
Wow.
So I'm sitting there. But this is how you do good business. A person happened to be walking past, and then he said, "Good morning, sir. Are you here for service?" And I was like, "Well, I think I am because I've been sitting here for about 5 minutes now." And then he said,
Right.
"The garage door is broken.
Wow. Yeah.
Let me show you where the service center is at and get you to the person that you need to see." And then as
Hmm.
we're walking towards that thing, he's like, "We have water here, we have coffee, anything like that." He say, "How you feeling this morning?" and things like that. And I'm like, "I'm feeling good, thank you, bro." You know?
Yeah. He
And,
connected to your need at that moment.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's one of the characteristics of running a business and being a great business person and whatever you do, whether you sell lemonade at a lemonade stand, greet your customers. Look at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. Yeah.
You go in
Their whole
Chick-fil-A,
business
you
model.
just like
Yeah,
you
it's about
almost
customer
they
service.
are so I've never had a bad experience at Chick-fil-A.
Knock on wood. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
That's
but
good.
I've never had a bad experience, and I
That's
can say that
good.
about them because
Yeah.
I don't frequently go there, but I know that their service is different from other people's services.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And they
so,
are
as a
distinguished. They
right,
are
exactly,
literally distinguished by their service.
exactly.
Yeah. That's a
So
trip. Yeah.
it's all about branding, and it's all about the character that you want to be received. So
Hmm.
I'm gonna give you the energy that I want you to give back to me. I want to
Hmm.
get $10,000 from you to redo your bathroom. I can't just go in here and just be somebody that you don't feel like you like.
Right. Or comfortable with. That's
Right. Or
important
comfortable.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very.
you
Yeah.
I think I to add to your points, not that anybody asks, but
Mhm.
to add to those points, you definitely have to be a trustworthy person,
Right.
especially in your business, in your
Yeah.
line of business.
Yeah.
I always say it's important, like you said, how you treat others. Think about it in a reciprocal sense. How do you want people to treat you or perceive you? We
Right.
always talk about in the Black community, particularly, how being profiled just going to the store. You may be a millionaire, but you're profiled just based on who they think that you are. But I think also in business too, you're
Yeah.
introduced, you are the business. So you've got to embody what it is that you believe you are. And that takes me back to the point that we were talking about with TikTokers and social influencers.
Right.
Many of them, some of the, and some people get angry because they've gone to school, they've done their due diligence, they've paid off all of their debts, and they're
Right.
still struggling to climb the corporate ladder.
Right.
And here you are, a TikToker, just telling your story, and you are skyrocketed to the top. And I think, you hit the hammer on the nail. All of those characteristics aside, if you
Yeah.
are not the type of person
Mm-hmm.
that somebody wants to work with, then you
Exactly.
can guarantee that you won't get any customers or
Exactly.
repeat
You
customers.
won't.
You
Yeah.
literally got to do that.
Yeah.
I was
I
also
am.
going to add this one other thing, sorry,
Mhm.
is that you got to have discipline. And I think you have to work toward it. I
Yep.
think
This is
as a
exactly
business,
what I was about to touch on. You have to
yeah,
have
it's
discipline. Yeah.
easy to work all night long. I'm a witness. I'm a witness.
Right.
I'm a recovering workaholic. I was sitting in the I was sitting in the easy chair yesterday.
Right.
You're gonna love this. I digress. I was sitting in our recliners yesterday. My husband has these big, recliners in the living room, and
Right.
I spread mine's all the way out. It goes all the way out with your feet and everything. And I knew I had a podcast recording yesterday.
Right.
But dude, I was sitting in that chair for like 45 minutes. I said, baby, look at this. And he said, you're learning.
Yeah.
I was cracking up, but it's true because
Yeah.
you literally, the discipline, you have to force yourself to stop. You've got to set business hours.
Yep.
Those that we can talk
Exactly.
about another time, but
Yep.
discipline is very important. Yeah.
Very important
Yeah.
in business. Very important characteristic. As a business owner, you are the person that solves the problem. The buck stops at you. If one of your employees done something that wasn't correct and the customer is upset,
You
in
can't
this,
blame Pookie. You got
yeah,
to take it.
exactly. You have to take it. It's
Yeah.
your business, it's your responsibility. And people are crucial with words.
Oh
And
yeah.
people are cutthroat with words and things that they say. And I've learned the hard way is it ain't easy
Oh
that you don't match their energy.
yeah.
You don't allow
Yeah.
them to disrespect you, but you don't match their energy.
That's
And
good. That's a
you-
nugget right
yeah,
there.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 Don't match their energy when they upset and mad. Always try to remain calm and just say, I understand that you're upset. There's no need to cuss and fuss at me.
Right.
Let's work something out and
I
things
love
like
it.
that. Yeah. And
Man, we ought to do a segment just talking about customer service and
oh
being,
my God.
man,
That
I'm
that
looking
segment will
forward to
take 10 hours.
I'm looking forward personally to the next time we
Yeah.
connect. This
Yes,
wisdom has been
exactly.
awesome. Thank you to our callers and those who
Yep.
sent in questions for today. We look forward to connecting with you again.
Yes.
Just before we get going, we're going to ask Unc to share his last and final thoughts. But before we do that, I just want to remind you guys to connect with us in the gathering room. We go live every Friday, every other Friday at 8 p.m. with a new podcast drop. And we are looking forward to connecting with you. Remember to like and subscribe, y'all, and hit the notification bell so you'll know each time that we are online with fresh content.
Yeah.
All
You
right.
have to show me how to do that because I'm not the most tech savvy person on the
Will do.
notification stuff. Yeah. So you're
So
gonna
it's
show me that. Yeah.
www.thegatheringroom.online. Again, that is www.thegatheringroomonline. Last and final thoughts from my aunt, and we're closing out.
Well, I just want to leave you guys with what I said earlier today. The motivation for anything that you want to do in life, any and everything that you want to achieve in life, any goals that you want to achieve, any of that all starts with inside of you. It starts it's up here as a thought, and then when it reaches your heart, it becomes passion. The motivation, the seed, the growth, all starts within you. Boom. There you go.
Thank you so much.
How you
Thank
say,
you so
drop the
much.
mic on that one.
There you go. Drop the mic. Boom. Thank you so much, everybody. We look
Take care.
forward to connecting you on the next time. We are with President, Mr. President. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Right.
All right. Oh.